And Jason. Yeah, there wasn't that many corpses in this movie. Not that many, at least. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's plenty more under the basement than was originally advertised. But yes, that is what we're talking about. We are talking about that nasty, gritty Texas film. And we just want to let everyone know thank you for checking out our show. We've been away for about a week. I posted it up on the Facebook. I know we had the big storm come rolling through. I think Jeremy said his area had been hit by like 4 tornadoes, knocked out power for like what, a week. Jeremy felt like seemed like forever. And I was sick for quite a few days last week. So, but we're back, and we had to come back to this. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Uh, I'm gonna say is no. It wasn't as bad. I mean, when you announced it, when we did the last show and you announced it and showed it up, it was like, this is what we're watching. And I'm like, yeah, great. I want Leprechaun now. Bring the Leprechaun back. But I have like a personal. I'm not gonna say like a personal uh, hatred towards like Rob Zombie films, but I don't like the fact that they all seem kind of the same per se. I mean, this one works in its own right because it's his debut thing. It's what he's working with. He's got like the backwoods hillbilly type of super countrified people. But then when it translates into like a remake of like Halloween, it's like it it doesn't work, man. Change it up a little bit. Give That was my fear when they said he was gonna do the monsters. I was like, oh my god. Well, no, I mean, I heard it was. Oh, I heard it was all right. I didn't hear it was like great, but I didn't hear it was like the worst thing ever. So, um, but ironically, when I was doing a little bit of research on this film, it is actually listed as a horror comedy. So it is IMDb. It's just listed as horror. I think Wikipedia had it listed up as like a horror comedy, which was kind of funny because I think that's what made it more enjoyable is while we were watching it. And I think me and you had talked about it beforehand, and we were like, "Oh yeah, PJ's gonna hate this movie. PJ's gonna hate this movie." I think PJ liked this movie. She was just having a ball with it. She was just, poking at the fun little bits and it. Oh yes, that laugh. Okay, I just got my Twitch up right now. Yeah. So PJ says that she liked the movie, but she didn't like the laugh. That that Yeah, that was annoying, to say the least. That was probably one of the harder parts to get through. Uh, see, that's what it does. That's what it does. It is so high pitched in volume that it breaks sound itself. Um,
Yeah, it's It's been a doozy.
Apparently,
I think it's
yeah.
fixed now. I saw it.
I was about to say because they're not.
Yeah, there
Oh,
it
there
is.
he is. There he is. What? Some other? So has it been like I'm the only one talking to myself?
Apparently.
That that is funny. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. Um, what's that line from Jurassic Park? I'm sitting here when he's in the water
Oh,
pump.
yeah.
Everyone ran out. He's like, I'm sitting here talking to myself. That's
That's chaos
that's
theory.
yeah.
So, but so like I said, this movie isn't as I haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't seen the entire three in a long time actually. I remember seeing Three from Hell when it first came out. Uh but I haven't seen it's this movie came out in 2003. I probably haven't seen it since like 2012, 2013. Like it has been a very long time. I own it on Blu-ray and I bought it maybe like 3 years ago and I just never watched it. I just found it for like $5 and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to buy it." Same with The Devil's Rejects. It was like $5 and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to buy it cuz I like the movie."
okay.
So
Yeah.
coming
So
back and revisiting it was interesting.
yeah, I mean, like I haven't watched it. This is the first time I ever actually sat down and watched it, and it has kind of like this reputation about it, kind of like Saw for me, or Hostel. People talk about how nasty and just the movie is, and I'm like, okay. And then come to find out that sometimes, usually, people talk a big thing, or they, over exaggerate how bad the movie is, or whatever. And was really kind of dreading going into it because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big Rob Zombie fan. I'm not into his style, and I know his stuff can get kind of out there. And the movie, I'm not gonna lie, is out there, especially those weird edited cuts and stuff.
They're the most
It,
random times too.
some of them, some of them work. Some of them not so much.
Like
And this is his directorial debut, so there's a lot of him he's still playing around with. So like take the scene with Bill, right?
I was about to say, the
So
one where she's asking to see him and they cut to him being tortured.
yeah, now the music was a bit of an odd choice there, like the Dark House song. We're all like, "It's she's a brick house," and he's being cut, and his hand gets cut off, and all this stuff, and it's done in like a grainy kind of like snuff film type, and you can barely hear the voices of the guys talking and playing just over the music. And like I said, that whole scene is unsettling, and of course, it does make the song more uncomfortable. So now, whenever I listen to it, that's what I think about. But it's in something like that, it does work. But then you get like the scene where the cops show up and they find the cheerleaders in the back, and the one cop is talking to the mom or whatever her name was, uh, Mama Firefly or whatever, and the guy that cop gets shot in the head or in the neck or whatever, he gets shot, and then um, the other one, Nash, who was in
Fallout.
yeah, he was recently in Fallout, but he was also in Justified and whatnot.
Yep.
Boyd, he played Boyd. Um, they that scene where they find the girls in the back, and then the dad slash ex cop gets shot, um, and then whatever his name is, the main, I'm gonna call him the main bad guy, the main antagonist, Bill Mosley's character,
That's
um,
Otis.
Otis. He comes out, points the gun at the guy. Uh, Nash gets on the ground, and he puts the gun up to his forehead, and then the camera like pans out, and then it kind of stops.
And it takes.
We wait. And we wait. And we wait. And at first you're going, this is the longest shot ever, and nothing is happening.
Yep.
You know, you're waiting on the anticipation. You know he's going to get shot, you know, because this is one of those movies where the bad guys, spoiler alert, the bad guys get away with it. But, so he's got the gun to his forehead, and he waits. And I swear, it had to have been almost a full minute, it felt like. And then the gun goes off, and it's like slow-mo. The guy's like, but it's all still shot from that far angle, that far off shot.
Yeah.
So he just kind of goes to collapse, and then the scene ends, and it's just kind of like. So really, we didn't even get to see much, and you held on that shot for like a minute and a half. It felt like.
Yeah, but you see, it led to your favorite scene.
Well, that didn't lead up to my favorite scene.
No, but Brick House did.
Oh, God.
Let's go see.
Here we go.
Behold! Fish boy! Oh my God! Oh my God! No! No! This can't be real! 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 Oh, it's real. Real as I want it to be, Mama.
So this was like this is like one of the, I wouldn't call it per se my favorite scene, but it is kind of like the most well-known scene, I guess, because
There's
I knew this scene before I even knew what the rest of the movie was about. You know, I just knew that Rainn Wilson got turned into a fish, which is fun because I think he was in the Meg and he got eaten by the big giant shark. So I guess he was a big fish boy.
there's two other scenes. Well, there's one other scene that is like super, like the Fish Boy one that's like super popular, and for lack of a better reason, I'm not going to show it on here. I almost selected as my favorite scene, but we would definitely be getting that explicit content put up on that one, and it's that where they come to rob Captain Spaulding.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, F your mother. 2, F your daughter.
Yeah, see, I think that was the comedic part about the whole thing was the fact that they came in and robbed him, and he didn't care, like, at all. So, it's, that was actually a pretty funny scene. Like I said, there was like some really kind of goofy moments in this.
But you see, my favorite scene is actually what opens the movie.
God, now I'm trying to figure out how the movie opened.
Well, I got it right here for you.
Blood, violence, freaks of nature. Well, then come on down to Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madmen. Yeah, see the alligator boy. Ride our famous murder ride. Most of all, don't forget to take home some of my tasty fried chicken. Ha ha! It just tastes so damn good.
I get it. That good old chicken.
It just tastes so damn good.
Yeah, that was, and it was so weird because that's kind of like I'm pretty sure in the next movie he plays a larger part with the family, because in this movie, until the very end, I mean, you know he's got a hand in it somehow. But at the very end of the movie is when you really get to, when you see the connection where the main girl, I can't even call her the main girl because they all just kind of were there, but she ends up getting quote unquote rescued by Captain Spaulding there. I guess he was coming from his shop going home or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, get in the car," and she gets in the car or whatever, and Otis is in the back.
Yep.
apparently just laying down. He's taking a nap. Um, so uh,
That's-
that is their one major reference of him being associated with these people. Otherwise, he's just kind of there, which is really weird. There's like a very, at least for me, very odd disconnect from the group.
That is true, Reaper. I wonder where the chicken came from.
From the farm.
So,
I'm sure the fireflies had
so
chickens out on the property.
between the chicken thing and his whole little skull thing, where he would like pull the zip on the skull and it would chatter, and he would mimic it.
Yeah, he had that. He had that one guy. It was so weird because, like I said, the kind of beginning of the movie was just so disconnected from the rest of it. Because he had that one guy there. I don't know who that little older guy was, but they were just—they seemed like BFFs. They just talking and chit chat, and then you don't ever see that guy ever again. So it's kind of like. But this movie now has led me to believe that if I'm ever driving down the interstate and I see a sign for a place that has a murder ride, gas, and chicken, probably not going to go there.
So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about this whole thing. This
Okay, here's the thing about the whole thing. I got it.
the entire movie could have been completely avoided if he didn't pester Captain Spaulding about the tree where they hung Dr. Satan. Because remember, they were on their way to that tree when they were first attacked by the fireflies.
Well, they weren't. Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't think.
Because the tree is on their property.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure something would have.
It doesn't matter.
happened in-
Dr. Satan!
Yeah, that guy. Whatever that thing was. That's where the movie got. Okay, so, like I said, if this movie was like a single movie, like just by itself, this movie would have been okay. Okay, I didn't mind it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Didn't scare me or anything like that. But I think my biggest problem with it is that I know it's a trilogy, and I know how these characters are supposed to be portrayed and how you're supposed to view them by the end of it, and it doesn't work for me, and it just kind of ruins.
It's only the third one.
Well, I know it's the third one because I mean, like the second one, they're just evil people anyway. doing
Yes.
evil things. And then you have the last movie where it's evil people, but they're going against even more evil people.
They almost tried to pull a Jigsaw, like with the new Saw movie, where you take the evil person and they put him against an even more evil person. But the thing is they did better in the new Saw movie to get us to connect with Jigsaw.
That is because you had all them movies. You had all them Jigsaw movies, and of course, not all of them were good movies. But there were, even from the get-go, there were little instances that they would drop in there that would try to give Jigsaw sympathy.
Humanity.
Yeah, they gave him something that you could grasp onto. Yeah, he was a horrible man.
He didn't kill anybody.
Oh God, here we go again. We stopped that train a while back. We were not getting back on. These people did. These people killed a lot of people. But like they gave Jigsaw humanity, as you said, and he lost his child.
But that's not why he started his work.
Well, no, it's not. They keep changing that, but but when they did Saw X, he was in between movies at that point, and he hadn't completely turned, I should say, to the dark side. So all it took was even more. Well, I'm pretty sure like if he had gotten his brain tumor thing fixed or whatever, because even when they did the surgery per se, all his like little traps and stuff that he was drawing, he was pretty much crumpling them up and throwing them away. He was a changed man. He had his brain fixed, but then he found out those people did nothing and they just stole his money. And it's something that they were doing to a bunch of people. That's evil, and now you have a sympathetic character.
Yeah,
Later on, these people just don't have that.
no, yeah, that's where that one kind of falls apart. But so let me ask you, Jason, you wouldn't go on the murder tour?
Okay, first of all, Jeremy, I'm not going on a murder tour in a gas station. Out in Texas, nonetheless, okay?
But what I liked about it is all of them except for the last one were real.
This is a bit of a stretch, Jeremy.
No, the people that they talked about, Ed Gein is a real person
Oh, you're talking about those people.
on the murder
I thought you
tour.
were I thought you were talking about like I was like, yeah, sure, Jeremy, that cybernetic crazy Dr. Satan guy with his hook up from the ceiling. Puppeteer, that's real. Yeah. How about that guy with like the skinned face and his little breathing mask, and when he takes it off, he burps up Nickelodeon gack. Yeah, that's real, Jeremy.
No, I mean, like the killers that they used on the tour before,
Yeah.
they got
all cannibals.
most of them were,
Yeah,
but they had like
yeah, I'm pretty sure
the
every
ones they
one of them-
talked that they showed, yes, but like Lizzie Borden was in it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you don't know. He could have rolled up and been like, "This is Lizzie Borden. She killed people with an axe, and then she ate them."
Oh,
This is Ronald McDonald. He sells pink slime cheeseburgers, and he ate people.
because it tastes so damn good.
I like how the ride had to have like a guy push him.
It didn't
Like,
even-
it didn't even run
That's
on
what I
its
mean,
own.
Jason. Would you ride the murder ride? You got a guy pushing you from the back.
No, that guy could just reach over and kill me. And then all of a sudden, now this is Jason, and he died on this ride, and he ate people.
Oh,
What, PJ? You wouldn't ride on the ride?
so
So exciting! Look, you could dress up like a drunken looking. Oh, great! The name just Uncle Sam.
so
There we go.
fun fact for you: this movie was actually rejected by Universal Studios to be made and produced. He actually went to Universal first to have it produced. Universal said no, we're not touching it. We're not touching
Yeah, because of like
everything.
how explicit it is.
Yep, how explicit it was and all this other stuff. Like they're like, nope, we're not
They're
touching.
afraid because they're afraid it was going to get like an NC-17 rating.
So he goes and he makes the movie. Who did he get it made with? Hold on, I'll tell you here in a second. It was made with writing. That's cast. Produced by Andy Given and Andy Gould. He went with this these different people to produce it with a different
Yeah.
company. Well,
Good Rights. Oh, yeah, the production company was Good Rights. It was actually distributed by Lionsgate.
yeah, Lionsgate actually produces the next one too. So, after the success of this and The Devil's Rejects, Universal actually asked Rob Zombie if they could use it for Halloween Horror Nights. And at one point had a House of a Thousand Corpses themed area because they were like, "Oh, it's so good, you know, can we use it?" And I'm like, way to be on the cash cow.
Yeah, that's That is a lot of things nowadays. Everyone wants to play it safe until there's money actually involved. So they'll see something, they'll go, you know what? No, no, this doesn't smell good to me. I don't like it. And then once it starts rolling in some cash, I mean, I think this movie was still kind of like I don't want to say it was a financial flop, but I don't think it did. Um, no, it was. It actually made a lot of money.
I was about to say it budgeted 7 million. Opening weekend was 3.4 million, and it grossed 12.6 in the U.S.
It was about 16 million worldwide, but
Yeah.
in the beginning, critics didn't like it.
Oh, critics hated this movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, but you know, they look at it and they go, yeah, you know what? No, we ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. And then all of a sudden now it's rolling in money, and they're like, hey, can we how about we give you a little bit of money, you give us more money.
Yep.
We'll give you some money, and we'll get more money in the process because now we like it. Yeah, it's definitely not a movie for everyone.
No. So let's talk about the Firefly family.
I hate him. Otis, hate him.
Let's start with Otis, and
Okay.
played by Bill Moseley.
Wait,
What?
that's her adopted brother,
Who?
Otis.
Oh, yeah. You find that out
Otis-
later.
Otis Driftwood. Driftwood.
Yeah, you find it out later. So we'll start off with Otis, who he's almost like the ringleader.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Like he kind of puts everything out, and he's the worst of them all. Like he's the one, got the cheerleaders like tied to his bed and all that other stuff like that. But he like I said, he's like the ringleader of them all. And like you were saying, Bill Moseley's been in a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people know him as Chop Top from the second Texas Chainsaw movie, where he's got that big old metal plate in his head, where he said he came back from the war. But he's also in all the Ice Nine Kills music videos for their Welcome to Horrorwood album. He plays Captain Harris, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
The problem is he plays a lot of like lower end movies.
Well, I mean,
But he's
Yeah.
a horror icon. Like a lot of
yeah, I mean-
people know who Bill Moseley is.
yeah. I mean, sometimes that's the best way to do it. Is do those low budgeted, close knit movies. Because sometimes I think sometimes like the bigger blockbuster movies, when you have like a big blockbuster movie, yeah, people on the movies who work it can meld together and form, bonds and relationships and stuff like that. But when you have something that's lower budget, then I think they actually click a little bit better. I know, like you get like the Guardians of the Galaxy group where they stand by James Gunn when that whole thing was going on and stuff like that. But yeah, low budget movies and stuff like that, they just seem like they connect better.
Yeah. And
Mm.
from what I've read, like Sid Haig was phenomenal to work with.
Oh, I'm sure he was. I mean, he seems like in this movie, he seems like he's having a fun time. So
Well, let's talk about him next. Oh, Captain Spaulding.
oh, Captain Spaulding.
He's probably my favorite.
Well, I think he's everybody's favorite. So I think it depends on, what your preference is. I mean, like I said, he's probably at this point definitely the most likable of the characters. But, that's not saying much when you're having to deal with murderers and rapists and stuff like that. So
True. And rest in peace. He passed away on September 21st of 2019.
yeah, wasn't it shortly after he filmed
Three from Hell? Yeah.
yeah, that was like his
He-
last movie, right?
He passed away during the filming of it. Like he was actually in the middle of filming it.
Trying to
Well then, let's look at Mother Firefly, Jason.
okay, so that wasn't his last film. He actually had 3 more come out afterwards.
Who? Sid?
Yeah. Yeah, three other movies that came out after he had already passed. So,
Yeah, one of them he did a voice for. What did
yeah,
you...
what, Mama Firefly?
Yeah.
Nah. I guess she was a bit more okay than the other ones. Okay, because to be quite frank, I didn't like Otis and I didn't like Baby. Those were like my 2 bottom, like at the bottom.
Oh,
So,
was Baby Firefly because of her laugh?
oh God, she just seems so. She seemed like a Harley Quinn that wasn't funny.
One
She
of
just she just thought everything that she did was funny, and to me, it just reminds me of like I don't entirely know what they were going for. I know her name is literally Baby Firefly. But when you have a full-grown woman who acts like a 3-year-old, it's not cute. It's not endearing. It's not, something like, oh, this is my favorite case. She's so fun. No, it's annoying. And that, dude, every time she came up on screen, it was just like, oh my God, just stop. Just stop for one moment. Act your age.
Really? Because those 2 dudes, man, they were... Whew!
Yeah, well.
They were
You.
infatuated with her.
And what happened to him? Yeah. Yeah, one became a fish boy, and the other one got his head
Scalped.
examined.
Which was funny because like they're doing that whole Halloween show and she comes out dressed like Betty Boop.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that. It was weird. What I mean, were they just having like a little date show? Is that what that was?
I don't know, but Grandpa Hugo,
This was actually.
he got some laughs.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. This was actually his last movie.
Yeah, he plays I recognized him because he plays in MASH.
Hey, he played a lot of stuff, but he had
Well, for PJ, just so you know, it's Sparky. It's who Radar always talked to on the radio when he had to get stuff to the 407 7th, he'd always go through Sparky.
That laugh made me want to shove something through my ears.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, yeah,
Oh, but we forgot 2 other Fireflies, Jason. We forgot Tiny Firefly,
yeah, Tiny.
who
Tiny.
ate his bowl of Agatha Crispies
Agatha Crispies. That's my favorite kind of.
out of a dog bowl.
Yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that Tiny was probably my favorite, just because. Still, once again, he's kind of. I want to say he's more like Leatherface.
Yeah.
You wanna look at like let me see here. So everyone looks at Leatherface as being this scary character who goes around cutting people down with chainsaws. But if you actually sit there and watch the movie, he is kind of the one who gets picked on by his family, right?
Yep.
The hitchhiker, the cook, not necessarily grandpa, but who knows?
Yeah.
And at least in those movies, he's just as much a victim as he is a villain. You know, he only pretty much does what he does because of yes, yeah, childlike. Yeah, is kind of the appropriate term, I would say. Um, so Tiny, I think, kind of fits in that. Probably without the I mean, whatever went in there and burned him.
His dad.
His dad. And so, whether it was just some sort of from a crazy person or whatever, or if he was trying to physically actually harm him.
No, he burned the house down, or he was trying to burn the
Right.
whole house.
So, I think in a way, Tiny is kind of that. Pretty sure if you left Tiny alone, he'd be fine. But he only does the harming when he has to, when he's told to. And like when he went downstairs to, I'm assuming that was that wasn't Mary. That was the other one. I think that was Denise. Because she was dressed in that baby doll outfit.
Yeah, that was
Or whatever.
Denise.
And he goes down there with his Agatha Crispies, which, like I said, that is by far my favorite part in that entire movie. Actually, you know what, Jeremy? That should have been my favorite scene right there. Just him whipping out that box of Agatha Crispies. But he offers her the bowl. She does not take the bowl. And so he starts eating it. He's nom. And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go now." And he just sits there and he kind of stares at her for a moment. And you're thinking at this point, you're like, "Okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Is he gonna like get up and get her or something?" And she gets up and walks kind of past him, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving now." And he kind of stops, and while he's watching, he waves at her, and he gives her like a little, he gives her like a "Okay, bye." And then he goes back to eating his Agatha Crispies. I love saying that, Agatha Crispies. And are you still alive over there, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Okay, you're frozen in place on my screen.
No, I was reading something.
I mean you're moving around, but you know, but you know, he kind of waves at her, and then she gets caught by Otis and locked away. So he's just kind of like, you know, it's okay. I'm all right. So you know, in a sense, yes, he is a bad guy, but he I just think that he goes along with it because of the family is his thing.
So, apparently, most of the cutaway scenes, like Otis torturing the cheerleaders and stuff, was filmed in Zombie's basement after they finished filming the movie. He would invite cast members over to his house on the weekends and shoot the footage with a 16mm hand camera.
Why am I not surprised Rob Zombie has a bunch of cheerleaders in his basement?
He's also said he acknowledged the movie's cult following, but admitted that he himself is not fond of it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that goes with a lot of actors and stuff like that. They may have like they may do a movie, it becomes this really big movie, and then they're like, you know what, I kind of don't like that movie. I didn't mind being in it, but I just don't like the movie. I don't like watching the movie that I'm in. I don't know. I guess, you know, it could have been, it could have something to do with how he views his work. You know, this was like his first movie, so he spent, he did some experimental things with the different video styles and the music and, you know, just stuff like that. And over time, maybe he feels his style has gotten better, and he looks at this one and goes, yeah, that's kind of a mess. It's not really my favorite.
That's what he basically said.
Oh. Okay, well then there you go. There you go.
Otis's and Baby's bizarre rants during the home movie segments are inspired by Charles Manson's family's supposed home movies.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Now that you bring in Manson, this does feel like a lot of a Manson movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it could definitely be a Charles Manson thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
So, well, on IMDb, it is a scale of 1 to 10. And with 94,000 votes, let's see what everybody thought
Okay, so IMDb.
of House of 1,000 Corpses.
Which, like I said, maybe the skeletons made it 1,000 corpses, but that was about it.
I remember because you made that joke, like, man, at this rate, they're gonna be here a
Yeah,
while to get to that 1,000 mark.
About part way, they killed like one person, and I was like,
All right, Reaper gave it a 5. PJ gave it a 4.2. You gave it a 6.3. Raven gave it a 4.5.
oh, geez, I went high. Everyone's gone low.
All right,
Low, don.
Jason.
Oh boy. Oh, do I get to be Fish Boy?
No,
Oh.
you're that cop who died to Mama Firefly. Laughing, and she pulls a gun out and shoots him right in the neck. Bam!
I don't want to be that. That guy got shot in the head, and he was sitting right across the table from her.
PJ, you're Denise's dad. Shot in the back after coming all this way to see your daughter hanging in the shed.
Was that her?
Yeah, that was her dad.
Well, I mean, I knew it was the dad of one of the girls.
That was hers.
Here's the problem.
They both look alike.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to sound mean, but I mean, like the guys, you can kind of separate them because,
One played in The Office.
Bill, yeah, I've seen Rainn Wilson in a lot of stuff, and the other guy was played by Jerry Goldsmith, which is like the most coolest name ever. But what he was played by Chris Hardwick, who he does the Talking Dead. He
Yeah.
hosts the Talking Dead. So, yeah. So I'm more familiar with his face too. But the girls, they were just almost interchangeable. Like I couldn't recognize which one was which sometimes. One of them kind of reminded me of I think her name's Molly Shannon. Wasn't she the one on like Saturday Night Live?
I'm not sure.
The one who does like yeah, Molly Shannon. She kind of reminded me of that a little bit. She had kind of that face. So that was about the only time I could look at her and go, "Oh, that's the Molly Shannon one, I think."
Well,
but otherwise, those two were kind of interchangeable, and I just never could remember. But see your kid, you're an ex-cop, and you see your kid hanging up in some barn or shed or whatever. He turned around and ran off. He's just like, and he turns around, starts running. It's not like she was dead. She was moving around. She was like, he's like, he turns around, and then takes like 3 shots in the back. It's like, oh my god, that was the worst ever.
well, that's okay. Ravenfire, you're Steve Nash.
Oh,
You got slow-mo death.
slow-mo death.
Which means Reaper was the closest because it was a 6.0 out of 10. Jason, you went over.
Went over by 2.2. Yeah.
0.3,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, right, Vin. You got to become a ghoul.
Now, on to the corpse-o-meter. The corpse-o-meter.
Corpse-o-meter. Okay, we're just gonna let you know that the scale goes from 0 to 100.
Yes,
not 1,000.
0 to 100 corpses.
There's no 1,000 corpses in this.
So, place your bets on how many corpses these are.
Um,
And while we do that, we did.
Critic-wise,
Yeah, critic-wise, we did forget a Firefly, Jason. We forgot Killer Carl. He was the big dude with the bear hat that we saw. Like, he had one line. He was like, "Your car's fixed."
What was that?
That's the bulky dude who shot their tire out.
Was that Rufus?
I think so.
Rufus. RJ. Yeah, see, there's too many, because when you start getting to like the Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell, you really in Three from Hell you're only like focusing on 3 Fireflies, because I think that's all that's left. But in this movie, there's like a whole handful of them, and I don't remember any of them. I mean, I know Otis because he was just awful. I know Baby because she just sounds awful. I remember Tiny because stood out so differently. Mama, of course, and like Rufus. I don't remember Rufus.
Yeah, that was the brother with the tow truck.
And I remember Hugo because he was just obnoxious. But apparently Earl Firefly?
Earl.
Killer Carl was one of the robbers. Earl was that...
Oh, he's the one with Captain Spaulding, I think.
No, Earl Firefly was that burpy guy in the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, Oh, that guy.
Well,
he had the roof dropped on him, but that was about it.
Well, Ravenfire, that's who you are. You had the roof collapse on you.
Oh man, someone's offering promotions for our channel.
Reaper. Oh, who should I? Let's see. You're Jerry. You were
Jerry.
Scout.
Jerry Goldsmith.
Just Scout. PJ.
Oh.
You're Mary.
Would she was the one who got stabbed in the cemetery.
Yes.
I remember that she got stabbed in the cemetery.
Yeah, because Baby's like, I want to go get her. Yes. Jason. You're Bill.
I'm Fish Boy. I'm a mermaid. Merman, whatever.
So, critic-wise, it got a 22.
Oh, what? Okay, I think that is a bit low for this. But then again, it is a horror movie. It's a Rob Zombie horror movie, so it makes sense. Exactly.
Using split screens, atmospheric and subversive music, 16mm and old film footage, and the crowd-pleasing stalking camera, Zombie creates a visually arresting Molotov cocktail.
Disco Inferno.
It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre with all the trashy elements cranked to 11 and no attempts at plot or character development.
Okay, you know what? I agree with that. I agree with that. Now I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch Texas. Now I know when he did this movie, he was trying to emulate kind of that Texas feel, that Texas Chainsaw feel. But they do kind of hit that nail right on the head, where there's no character development. Awful people are doing awful things.
Yep.
And that's it. I mean, I wouldn't even call them heroes because they didn't have enough personality to warrant much feeling. But even the bad guys were just awful people. And where do you build from that? You don't. You just make them more awful, I suppose. So I'm gonna agree to the fact that there is really no character development in this. That's my opinion. People may see something else, but yeah, they're just terrible people being terrible people.
Well, now we are on to the audience score for the Corpse-O-Meter.
It has to be like, okay, this is the audience score. This has to be like, I'm gonna go to 56. It has to be a little bit higher. Has to be.
Does it have to be?
I would think so. I would think this movie's more well-liked than what critics would say. What? Flexible and convenient order management panel.
I know, right?
And it's lower than any competitor. The quality
All right.
is guaranteed to be the best. You know what? All right, if you hang around for a little bit, you see we don't really need that kind of stuff.
PJ,
Uh-oh.
you're that first bank robber that got in the argument with Captain Spaulding.
Oh. There was a lot of F's being thrown that day.
I'm going to give you to the count of 3. 1, F your mother. 2, F your sister.
Okay, first of all, it's really kind of just crazy to say that when you have a gun pointed at you. But it's really kind of dumb he didn't just pull the trigger. And the guy's gonna smack talk you that bad. Just go ahead and pull the trigger and call it a day. And we would have been out of however long this movie was.
I love how he like shot him the first time and then he's just like smelling the gun and then yeah. So, Reaper, you're that second guy.
Oh, yeah, the guy took his tiny little cat mask off or whatever. It only covered like this much of his face.
Why'd you take your
looked like-
mask off? Put your mask back on. That was the most uncoordinated robbery ever.
Why were they robbing that place? What do you think you're gonna rob from a chicken and gas store?
Okay, not only is it a chicken and gas store, but have you seen who runs it?
Yeah, a guy dressed as a clown, and apparently he lives in that costume. Apparently,
Man, they got blood
Right.
all over my good clown suit.
yeah, yeah, and he's dressed up. He's walking around like a t-shirt after hours with the clown makeup still on. I think he just sleeps in the clown makeup. Like that is just who he is. He's like the Joker. Chicken gas and murder. Yeah, it is.
Raven,
You get the triple, the CGM.
Ravenfire, you're Denise. Even though she's technically not dead.
I'm gonna go with she became 1,001 corpses.
Which means
Yeah.
Jason.
Oh my goodness!
It was 65%.
Yes, I got it. I got to not be one of the corpses this time. Even though for some.
No,
strange
no,
reason,
Ravenfire, I'm changing who you are. You're the dude Dr. Satan was working on at the basement.
The first guy
Yeah.
in the basement.
Well, they put his.
He's-
Oh, actually, no, he didn't die from baby scalping him.
No, that was Jerry. He was
Yeah.
put in there, and Dr. Satan was cutting open his head and whatnot. Was playing around that cybernetic mummy puppet. That's what we call a muppet. Mummy puppet.
Well, again, like I said, the movie wasn't as bad as everyone anticipated.
Look, like I said, I am not a big fan of Rob Zombie. And going into this, I had like no hopes for it, no high hopes. This movie alone, if this movie didn't have 2 sequels, it was just this movie alone. It's an okay movie. I'm not gonna watch it all the time. I do think some of it does strain on me a little bit, and the ending. Yeah. Yeah, and the ending went kind of sideways because I can understand like them luring people into their place and murdering them and turning them into fish people and just going havoc on them, but taking them out to the cemetery, dropping them into the ground where there's like this whole fun house up underneath the earth, with all the different tunnels and skeleton chandeliers and all this just crazy stuff going on down there. It did kind of lose me there at that point. I'm going, okay, well, this is a little too much for me, and but I think in the grand scheme of things, this movie alone is okay. Now, I can't say that I'm going to enjoy the next 2. I surely ain't gonna enjoy the last one. That much is for certain.
Well, next week we will watch some more awful people do some real awful things.
Okay, not more awful people. It's the same awful people.
And we're going to watch
Doing even more.
even more awful things. So we will see y'all next week for the Devil's Rejects. Because we kind of get away from the horror feel in the next 2. It's just more of...
What is this going to turn into aliens now? The first one's horror. The second one is action.
Well,
And then we're not going to worry about the...
well, we will see y'all next week. Same time, same campfire. Enjoy.
Later.
It's just so damn good.
What police have uncovered reads like this. Words can't describe it.
We here. We are playing on a level that most will never see. You're gonna start the killing. You best start it right here.